Hi, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us. Well, we're warming up. After our cold snap, most places are already back to normal. And in fact, some places are warmer than average. And by Wednesday, areas like Canterbury will be several degrees above average. However, we've got another cold snap on the way. This time next week, we could be dealing with yet another polar blast across the country, especially in the South Island. So let's try and make sense of everything that's going on. The reason it's a little bit warmer today, the westerly change that's come back after the southerlies. So areas that were having snow to sea level or very close to it on Monday, down around Fiordland, Southland and Otago, those areas today, about a degree or so above average in some areas. If not, you're bang on average again. So talk about a bounce back. In the North Island, it's still a little bit windy in some areas, but generally speaking, the breezes are calming down after what has been a gusty past few days. So we've got a little bit more rain on the way. This is the next 5 days worth of rainfall, and the areas with the heaviest rain in bright blue, which you can see here, up around the 150 millimetre mark. So a fair bit of rain coming in for these western areas, and those in pink and purple, 45 to 70 millimetres. So a fair bit of rain coming through central parts and western parts of the North Island and the west coast as well, but much drier along this eastern side. In fact, you're really at the bottom of the scale, and we are not seeing a lot of rain coming over the next 10 days, even with this cold southerly coming next week. And speaking of cold, over the next 5 days, this is the accumulated snowfall. So it's in the usual places, in the mountains and ranges and around Central Plateau. Again, mountains and ranges for the most part. And the final map we've got here is the departure from normal. This shows you how much warmer Tuesday afternoon is. So the areas you see here with the yellow and white colouring, that's a degree or two above average. So some areas already lifting up. In fact, some of you in that 2 to 3 category around Canterbury. So not bad, considering we had a polar blast just yesterday. So this is how it looks for Wednesday. You can see across the country more of the same westerly winds coming through. But there's a little change. With this high, which has just come out of Australia, centred to our north, and the anticyclonic winds around it means northern New Zealand has got subtropical winds. You had subantarctic winds the other day, now you're subtropical. So definitely warmer in the north and warmer in the east. A little bit cooler in the west though, that's where the rain clouds are lining up. And on Thursday, those rain clouds really do line up. That's why we saw those rainfall totals much higher in those western areas. The rain's going to accumulate up over the next few days. Gusty west to northwest winds, they are still subtropical for the north. Westerly elsewhere, it will still be a little bit warmer than average, but nothing too major. And by Friday, the winds actually calm down. We're in between systems on Friday with an area of rain out to the east turning to low pressure, but this is the main one to watch. This is the new deepening low that will turn into a storm over the weekend. So Friday, it's building out there in the Tasman Sea, but by Saturday, really starts to deepen down to 970 hectopascals. And by the way, that's only just getting started. This system will be driving in warm nor'westers to kick off the weekend. So Saturday has mild northerlies or nor'westers in many places coming through ahead of the rain clouds, which will build up on the western side later on. By Sunday, the low pressure transfers off into the Southern Ocean, and this is where it really starts to deepen. So on Sunday, it's another mild-ish day. Rain clouds in the forecast, obviously. Plenty of showers and cloud, and the low is here, but the main low is actually spread off the screen. So let's go to Monday, because now you can see what's going on, and here is the low. 945 hectopascals. That is a very deep storm. Puts it right up there in the world's biggest storms that we get. So this is quite a nasty one. Now, it's a long way from New Zealand. When you look at New Zealand's 1,500 kilometres or 1,600 kilometres from the far north to the deep south. So that's about another 1,500 kilometres or so away from us. So it's quite a long way south. But the high is way off over there. So the air pressure gap, or the squash zone between that big high and that deep low, is all of this screen, which is right across New Zealand. So windy and wintry on Monday with snow going to low levels once again down around Southland and Otago. It might get to sea level once again. Showers in the North Island, maybe not quite as cold though as this recent cold snap was, simply because this low is so far away. And by Tuesday, the low actually pushes back north again and the air pressure still is deep. So this is quite a serious setup between high pressure just here and very deep low pressure just here. So the squash zone really in between the two air pressure systems, which puts the South Island smack bang in the middle. Now, there are still big, large, dry areas, so it may not be a big snowy event in Canterbury, just like we had recently. It was mostly dry. This might be a repeat performance where the snow goes back into Southland, Fiordland, and parts of Otago, and also the west coast looks wintry as well, but the very north of the country, outside of this blue line, makes me think it may not be quite so cold in the very north. So we're still waiting to lock all this in. This is just what the models have been saying. We can't yet tell you who will get severe weather, but it does look pretty likely. Big seas, severe gales, snow to low levels does seem to be in the forecast. For next week, it is winter. This makes sense. That's all from me. We'll see you again on Wednesday.